Alright, let's get started. Aries, how are you guys? 9 of Wands. Not giving up, still going. 9 of Wands. Page of Cups. Communication. You know, that 9 of Wands is kind of feeling like there's something you're not really letting go of, though, maybe. Let's lay out a spread. So this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It is general, as you know. I'm going to shuffle over here. It will not resonate for everyone. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. The rules can be reversed, intermingle, and flip around. And it's not gender specific. So ignore me if I say he or she. Let's get started. Your current energy. Uh-oh. I think you guys are focused on something that went wrong in the past. If this is just happening now, then we'll get some, more energy around it. But something big came tumbling down, some kind of realization, some kind of tower, something major, life-altering, okay? Overall energy, 7 of Swords, yeah. You figured out somebody either didn't care or... I don't know. I'm getting a lot of different things here, and everything is a little bit off. This deck. Somebody, I think, pretended to care, or you're wondering if they pretended to care, something like that. Their current energy, Queen of Wands, action, passion, wanting to come towards you, probably take some action. I'm gonna get more on that 7 of Swords. How they view you, 8 of Swords. Stuck in your head, maybe, not able to let go of probably what happened. Queen of Cups. I feel like something's just not settled. It's not discussed, or it's not worked through, is why you're struggling with that. Queen of Cups. Wow, that's how they view the situation. I think they see you, Aries, as, somebody just that is very loving, very sweet, able to show love, but this also indicates that they have a lot of love for you. Ooh, how they see moving forward. They're losing optimism. This is 5 of Cups. They're focusing on the negative too. What's happening? The Hermit. What you cannot see. There's a lot of inner reflection going on. This person is questioning whether they are going to be happy with you. But I feel like you are too. I don't know. The Hermit. This is not just this is not going within to, to discover inner peace and, figure things out. But this one, see how her wings are eliminated? This is actually in the process of ascension and discovery. It's not just now leaving to gain knowledge and reflect. It's actually in the process, because see, she's already there. We don't see her walking. She's already there. And she's already has illumination in her wings. Tarot's advice, if you choose to take it. Wow, protect your heart. I feel like you guys are in a place of in between. You want to protect yourself. You're moving forward maybe with this person that's coming back, or you're going to, but you're not going to give it your all, or you're going to take its temperature constantly. So we have a Wheel of Fortune. There will be forward motion, and it will be positive. So we're going to figure out what your message is. I was thinking about you guys yesterday, kind of thinking about your reading, or, redoing your reading, and I got a strong vibe of self-love. So there's a strong message. I might have to do another reading soon for you guys, because if it doesn't come through in this one, there's a strong message of instead of all the worrying and wanting to know the outcome, here we have a new beginning in love. This is amazing, and a King of Wands. We definitely have indication of a strong soul connection and a soulmate, but there's a tower looming that isn't put to rest yet. So, but you know, somebody's wanting to offer this cup and start again. The outcome is forward motion. But what came through yesterday when I was thinking about your reading was, and look, and I touched on this a little bit in the Sagittarius reading, but it came up the day of the dog attack. I was sitting on the couch and I was just, dazed, I think, but it just keeps coming up every day. So I know it's going to come to, some more information that I'm going to share, but it's, we go through these readings and we say, don't try too hard, don't give too much, be tempered, balance yourself out. If you overgive, then don't have expectations, because if you overgive, then you have expectations. But we say don't have expectations. And then, we also get messages that say, don't be mad, don't hold on to grudges, and unconditional love. And we have all these messages about how to handle certain things, and all these little guidance of one little certain thing and this outcome, and if they do this, and if they do, and I was thinking about that because all my videos, all my readings have the intention of triggering some sort of, or some kind of information just clicking. So even if you've heard it before and it's, repetitive, clicking to where you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. And somehow you make some step forward, right? And it's such a strong intention for my readings and for my channel in general. But we keep getting, on all these little, do this, do that, what if they do this, what if they do that, here's what they're doing, here's what... what will solve all of that? Every single thing that will fall into place with self-love. If we take the energy off of them and wanting to know what they're going to do, what they're thinking, do they care, will they come back? I mean, they pretty much always come back, right? But how to handle it when they come back. There's one answer that covers all of our questions, and it is redirect that energy back onto forward motion for yourself. Something that makes you happy, something that increases your value. We got to take the value and the energy and importance off of that person that you're thinking about and put it onto you. Then we don't have to worry about what they're going to do or how you're going to handle it, or why you're obsessing, or why every single thing we worry about and talk about in readings will fall into place with self-love. Everything. Nothing won't. Because you'll be able to, it's like the Empress. She doesn't concern herself, with what all these others, she's on a pedestal. She doesn't, look at people around her and go, wonder what he's thinking, wonder. She doesn't have to do that because she knows she's unconditionally loving. She's okay with everybody's going to let us down. So the person we're sitting here stressing about, do they care? Are they going to come back? Are they going to message me? Will I hear from them? Are they lying? Are they cheating? One thing we can count on for sure is that people will let us down, and we can't control it. All we can do, and this is the trick, all we can do and what we should do is be in a position to be able to handle it. It's all about how we handle what happens to us. And that all boils down to self-love. It's so simple. But it does take work. I mean, it does take steps, you know. So you might have to take some steps to do that, whether that's stretching for 5 minutes in the morning, or making your bed, or splashing water on your face, or taking a walk, you know. I hope you guys are getting sun on your face every day, unless, you know, if there is sun outside. I hope you guys are exercising every day. That, like, totally changes my whole life if I don't. But anyway, we've got to take more direct, decisive action towards us. Get some of this you know, emphasis off them and onto us. So you are going to have communication. This may already be happening. Page of, oh, maybe an apology. Look at that. But I feel like you guys are worried about, you're in that in-between place where you are moving forward, but you're maybe taking its temperature. So in other words, you know, constantly wondering, are they with someone else? Are they talking to someone else? Are they thinking about me? Are they blowing me off because I haven't heard from them in a day? That's like taking its temperature, you know, maybe checking in all the time to just make sure they respond and they haven't blown you off again, because I think there's a history here. So think of it like this. When we, look at that, when I said history here, I looked at the bottom. So there's a lot of pain, but there's also a lot of memories of the sweet, good stuff. Try to shift your energy to this and how good this feels, because Aries, you guys are in a major manifesting time, and you're going to attract what you think about the most. Try to, you know, the person that you want to be, the person that you're going to be when you hit your goals. Live as if you already are that person. Get up in the morning as if you already are that person. Carry on throughout your day as if you already are that person. Because if you focus on this, you're going to lower your vibe. Your vibe's going to stay low, and you're going to keep attracting this. Pretend you already are the person that you want to be. Now I forgot what I was saying. Shoot. Oh, taking its temperature. So like if you order a dinner at a restaurant, right? Think about you go look at the menu, you decide what you want, you get excited about it, right? You probably don't know it, but you imagine it coming, you imagine it's going to be good, it's a little something that makes you happy, you have an intention. You tell the waiter or waitress, and then you put in your order, and then you have this intention of what's going to happen next. They're going to bring the food. In that time, you're not taking its temperature, you're not popping your head into the kitchen going, everything okay in here? You guys getting my food done? You know, you set the intention. You had a visualization, I'm sure. You felt a little bit of what it was going to feel like, or anticipation, and then you let it go. And then what happens? It comes, right? So be careful with the whole temperature taking right now. Be okay with space. Be okay not knowing if they're seeing someone else, if what they're going to do. Your energy has to be on you, and then whatever they're doing is less important, and I promise you, you will be happier and they will be more attracted to you. You guys could be, with them having this 5 of Cups, they could be picking up on your fear and insecurity from this Tower that you're focused on. Tell me more about the Tower. Reconciliation, judgment. Judgment. Tell me about the 7 of Swords. I think there's something that wasn't addressed that needs to be, something that you never had closure to. So, you know, you guys know this. I say this a lot. Don't Don't jump into something that went wrong the minute they come back. If you want to know what happened, if you want an apology, and if you want to be with this person, don't manifest this person back and then the minute they reach out, you give them an attitude, you know. Let it warm up. I think you guys are going to have to get to that place where you can talk about it, because it's got to be put to rest so that the relationship can ascend. This Death card is something ending, but there's also ascension, see? So I think that's your message. I also think there's going to be more messages of self-love, because it's so heavy on my mind, and that, you know, really try to tune into that. Let's see what this Seven of Swords is. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, this person left you out in the cold, I believe, and you don't know why, and it just made you feel like they don't care that I'm hurt. So eventually you're going to want explanation. But think about it this way. Won't it be better if you're the Empress and they're the ones asking you, how do you feel? What are you thinking? They're the ones trying to figure out a way to text to you, and not the other way around. They're the ones hoping that you'll give them attention. You got to be in your Empress energy. The Hangman in reverse. And the Devil. Can't let go. Yeah, I feel like you guys are just really hung up on what happened, and you're going to have to do some meditation and some focus on self-love, so that whatever they do, you can handle it and you can be okay with it. And maybe that's where you were getting, but this person knows that you're in your head. They know that you're in your head. They know you love them. They're thinking about the sweet times. You need to think about the sweet times. Manifest more sweet times. Don't be so paranoid. The reason you're paranoid is because you have this sense of attachment. You know, you're attached to the outcome. The way you don't get so attached to the outcome is you don't give too much. If the giving is equal, then we aren't freaking out, right? If they're doing more giving, then we feel safe and secure with how they feel about us. So what you can't control them, what you can control is how much energy you put into them. That's your message. Okay. Let me get a couple divine doors, or actually, let's do the secret garden. So the other analogy was, you know, when you plant a seed, you do everything you need to. You dig the hole, you know, get the seeds, you plant it, you water it, and you leave it. You don't check on it every hour to see, or every, you know, 3 times a day, or obsess over it. Dare to be tender and strongly vulnerable. Love it. Exactly. Also, that card just said, make time for the little things today. Look at this. Grow. Oh my gosh. Right after I gave you the seed analogy. All flowers must grow through the dirt. Isn't that insane? The littlest key can open the heaviest door. Also, Aries, there's a feeling that it can't happen, that you can't have this relationship in a happy place, or another one. There's some sort of, you know, strong doubt, and we need to, anything can happen. Anything can happen. If you don't, you know, manifest negative things into your life. You guys are going to have supposed to have an amazing, you know, much better year. Things are turning around for you. Money is going to get better. Anthony's call, in thanks of my spirit, say, there might be a Tony somewhere here. In thanks, in a carry. In thanks of my spirit, safe and sound, all things that are lost so can be found. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Prepare for the unexpected. Beautiful. All right, Aries, let me know in the comments. And this is where you want to turn. I'd love to hear stories, but this is where you want to turn the camera or turn the video off if you don't want to hear about the dog attack. So let me try and get through this without being emotional. But, basically Lucy and I was taking Lucy for a walk, and a couple houses away, there was a Great Pyrenees in the garage and saw us and came, running over to us. Didn't seem aggressive, didn't seem mean. I've never been afraid of dogs. In fact, there was a pit bull in front of my house, I don't know, a year or so ago. And there were people, it was so funny because the pit bull's just standing there and there's people kind of around it, but nobody's doing anything, and the pit bull's looking at the people going, what are y'all looking at? It was so funny. But it was right in front of my house, and I just saw, some people that everybody was like scared of it, I guess. But I just grabbed a leash and walked out there, put the leash on her, and walked her around the neighborhood till I found her owner. I mean, I've never been afraid of dogs. So anyway, this dog did not feel aggressive. I still don't think the dog is a mean dog, even though it kicked my ass. But I walked up, we were walking towards its house, but we were just a couple driveways away, and it comes rushing out, and Lucy and this dog, they sniff noses, and it didn't run at us and like attack right when it got to us. It stopped. Anyway, within a split second, that dog was all over Lucy. And and Lucy's tiny, but how when dogs fight, they're like entangled, they're like on top of each other, and it's hard to separate them. So here's one thing I wanted to say. First of all, pick your dog up when a large dog is around, unless you know the dog or the dog knows you, right? The other thing is, consider getting a harness that you actually, if you were to pull up the dog, it wouldn't, like a collar, you can't, you know what I mean? Thank God I had a harness on her, because if not, I wouldn't have been able to get her away. And it was a big struggle to get her away. The dog wouldn't stop. She was fighting back. I did get her away at one point and had her trying to shield her, and got knocked down, and I think dragged a little bit. You should see my knee. I'll show you. Turn away if you don't want to see this, because it's kind of gross. This is initially, right? So I couldn't brace my fall because I was holding Lucy, right? You guys are really going to gross out on this one. Okay, I'm going to let you show you for a second. Look at that. It's like my chunk of my tissue is, gone. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that in there. But anyway, so I got her up. I'm on the ground. I'm trying to get up, and I'm holding Lucy and above me, trying to get up. Of course, I don't have any hands to help me. And I just, in slow motion, this dog came up and jumped up, and its teeth, I just remember, it was like, I don't know if it was like a psychic thing or what, but I just remember its teeth chomping down on her leg, the meaty part in between the knee and the hip. And she started squealing, the most horrific pain, panic, squealing I have ever. It was horrible, and she was looking down at me, and our eyes met, and I just was so helpless, Anyway, the dog wouldn't stop, It turned on me. Once it couldn't get to Lucy, I don't remember how many times. I think I got knocked down or fell twice. But at one point, I had Lucy, and I was getting away, and the dog freaking attacked me from behind. And I was like, oh my God, this dog is not going to stop. It just wouldn't stop. Just went on and on. Anyway, the owner, thank goodness the dog did have a leash on. It wasn't tied to anything, but it did have a leash on, or she never would have. it would have been really, really bad. I think we're lucky, you know, obviously we've got some, Lucy's bite wound is, you know, under her fur, but you can't even see it now. You can see bruising, you know, but she's doing really, really good. I'm still beat up. My arm is messed up. I'm having a hard time, but my knee is, my knee hurts really bad. But we're going to be okay. You know, I feel bad for this owner. Now she has this awful situation weighing on her, you know. And the dog snapped. I don't think it's a bad dog. I think maybe something went wrong with its training, because I never felt it. And when it was all over, the dog just, you know, when she did finally get the dog off us, she had the dog by the leash, and the dog was just looking normal again, not mad, not growling, like nothing had happened. It's something very bizarre about it, but definitely guard dogs, dogs that are trained to attack, should not probably be owned by people that are small and can't pull them off. You know what I mean? And I think she's really struggling with guilt, so she probably had some kind of inkling. So here's my big thing now. I'm still crying every day. It still really gets to me. But, you know, my doctors and my neighbors want me to pursue charges, so this dog is put down. You know, what an unfair place for me to be in. And the police showed up at my door. They called me, but I think I was still in shock because I was just not really saying anything. And he said, "You were involved in a dog attack. Are you bleeding?" You know, all that stuff. And, you know, I was just saying yes, but I wasn't really answering questions. And he said, "You know, I think you're still in shock. I'm gonna call you tomorrow." And then they showed up at my door and took the dog. But the dog's going to go back to the owner as long as it doesn't show any aggression in the 10-day quarantine. But anyway, that's kind of where I am. My heart is just so heavy. It's just so sad. I'm trying really hard not to think about it, you know. And I don't want you guys to worry, because our wounds are going to heal. And the owner is just traumatized, you know. She saw the whole thing. So I'm worried for her more than us, you know, because we will heal. She's got this dog that she loves that is a danger, and fierce. I mean, the dog was fierce, you know, would have probably killed Lucy. All right, that's my story. I love you guys, so I'll let the camera run out so we can stay on chat for a minute or so, okay? Thank you so much for all your love and support and care, and we're going to be fine. Lucy is fine. Lucy seems unfazed. So mommy took all the hits, and she knows she's loved, that's for sure. So, okay, I love you guys. Thank you so much again, and I will see you soon. How do you do it? Heart. Love you guys.